Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel, That Conversation with Repinya, and tonight I'm going to be reviewing Housewives of Atlanta Season 14 Reunion Part 2. So the episode starts off where we left off with Marlo crying and, trying to gain sympathy from the audience, being upset because she's saying that the ladies have called her out her name, in the past, on other episodes. Some of the cast members used to call her, like the lady of the night, trying to figure out where she got her money from. And she said, can none of those ladies up there prove or tell her who she's ever, slept with or stole money from, And so she was upset and crying, they're saying that's basically, to me, it seems like she's trying to use that to justify why she treats people the way she treats them. And again, I'm not buying it. It's just like too little too late. If we got a softer side of Marlo just a little bit on the episode, then I would understand. But because Marlo has just been awful, I can't. I'm not buying it. And I don't think none of the other ladies are buying it either, But what's weird is that I don't get why Andy's not like holding her feet to the fire. Like, why are we doing this? Why are we, it seems like the majority of this reunion is based on Marlo and trying to, get some of the supporters back on her side, so she can get a peach. An insider told us, Love B. Scott already let us know that Marlo allegedly is going to be getting a peach next year. Anyway, so next season, so, we already know that. But, I guess this worked. I'm moving on. So then Kenya, you look over there at Kenya when they pan the camera to Kenya. She's like, no, we're not buying it, Marlo. You say one thing, right? Apologize, say one thing, and then you show us who you really are. Start talking crazy. She had said some really disparaging things about Candy. Like, it's awful stuff about Candy. And I'm not going to even repeat on this channel. I'm not going to do it. It's nasty. Calling her out her name, saying she do stuff that she don't do. And I agree with Kenya. Yeah, you'll do this, apologize, and then you'll come back and do something else again. And that don't even make any sense. I even saw her after the reunion on interviews doing the same stuff. So I'm just like, no, And of course we see Sanya. She interjects, she jumps in on behalf of Marlo, saying that Marlo's been a really good friend to her. And, I don't expect anything, but that from Sanya. Because, Sanya jumped on, first she was with Drew when she first started with the season. Then she went over to Candy and Kenya. Now she's besties with Marlo. So, of course, she's going to cape for Marlo, And what's sad is that the longer that Sanya stays on Housewives, she will experience the same thing from Marlo. Because Marlo, she just does not know how to, remain a friend. There's going to be something that's going to make her lash out at Sanya. Wait for it. Okay, so now, we're just going to talk a little bit about the nephews. So, Marlo's nephews, and Andy was like kind of saying like the way Marlo had communicated during the season that she kicked the nephews out is why people, were feeling away. She just did not communicate that right. This whole time though, she had no intentions on having the kids stay gone, you know what I mean? She was gonna bring them back eventually, so she just kind of needed a break to reset. But she kind of like spin the narrative and kind of use it as a storyline, saying that she kicked the boys out. So that's why everybody came down on her all over. They, all the fans, everybody came down on her because they were like, you know what? You were part of the foster care system. So the fact that you would even make it seem like you were kicking, the kids out, knowing that they have been through a lot with their mom, and their upbringing. You know that they had a hard life, and then you brought them in, and then you kicked them out. Like, it was awful. So Marlo, you got to do better. I felt like it was a storyline going wrong. I don't even know if she should have used this as a storyline, but yeah, it didn't come off right. Then we see production roll back some flashbacks of some of the ladies' receipts that they were running back and forth, and it was funny. This was actually a funny part of the reunion, just to kind of see how production gets their receipts together and puts them all, put the clips together. So we saw some of those, and I thought that was cool. Next, one of the viewers asked a question about Marlo and her edges, because we do know she had gotten some restoration for her edges done during the season. And so one of the viewers asked that, and of course, she go gaslighting us. She tells Andy that she's actually using Kenya Moore hair care for her edges, and that she likes the product and it's really working. So Kenya's looking at her like, yeah. Next, Andy asks Sheree, how do you feel about being teased about spring summer joggers? And Sheree is like, she's unbothered. She's not worried about that, especially now because she got, her stuff up and off the ground. She's like, it don't bother me. It doesn't bother me. She said she wasn't embarrassed about it. As a matter of fact, in current time, her, social media is still dragging Sheree about her fashions, because, again, they're not able to get any of the fashions that was on the fashion show. And, some of the people were complaining about the fashions that she have on her website currently. So they're still dragging Sheree. At this point, people, we know who Sheree is. We've been knowing for 14 years. And at this point, okay, so now we move on over to Kenya. And so everyone is talking about, how happy Kenya has been this season and how pleasant she's been. And she said so herself that, this has been a really good season for her, especially ever since Kenya danced on Dancing with the Stars. She has been a more free and more happy person. And the fact that her grandmother, who raised her, really didn't have the finances to put her through like dance class, but she did find little different places and communities that did have dance classes, and she did put her in dance lessons. So Kenya really liked that. So for her to get a chance to dance on Dancing with the Stars, and she did such an amazing job. She said it feels like her grandmother was there, watching her. So it made her feel good. So after that, she's just changed, Nothing's going to bother her. She's going to be free, and she's just going to be happy Kenya, which I agree. That's perfect. That was nice. And that was a really good segment right there. That kind of touched my heart. So, yeah. Good for you, Kenya. Okay, you guys. So, Sheree gets a surprise FaceTime call during the reunion. And Kenya is sitting next to Sheree. So, when the phone rings, Kenya leans on over to the phone, and she's like, Martell, Sheree's gonna have to call you back. And then, they start laughing, kikiing about that. And so Andy looks, at the camera, and he looks at Martell. And of course, Andy, he's something else. He complimented him and said that, Martell was a 10. And the ladies laughed and kikied. And Kenya was saying, yeah, he's a 10 out of 10. And also, I heard that, something else was a 10. And, the girls were being girls and catty and having fun on stage. And so, yeah, I know that Martell got a kick out of that, because Martell loves attention. Moving on. Next, Andy gets to Sanya. So he asked Sanya, how was the season for you, Sanya? And Sanya was like, yeah, it was really, really hard. You know, getting to know all the different personalities and the different women on the show. We do know that Sanya had her own reality show with her family, and that was just based around her and her family. So she had this difference, a different dynamic when it's a lot of ladies that you have to kind of like get to know and kind of like get to know their personalities. So she said it was more hard to film a reality show, you know, in this capacity than running track, you know, running in the Olympics. So I was like, oh, whoa. So yeah, she kind of compared that to that. But yeah, she said it was tough for her. So next we get to Marlo versus Kenya. So Andy asks the lady, so what is the problem or what is the issue between the two of you? So Marlo says Kenya is always dismissive towards her. And she uses me when she needs me. The delusion is real, Marlo. That's not what it is, right? That's not it. You know. Anyway, no one's buying that. So Marlo's painting a picture that it's Kenya. Kenya's always using her or being dismissive, or she's the bad gal in the situation. Marlo, it is not Kenya. It is you. I mean, yeah, there are times, because, you know, Kenya has her ways. There are times that she says little things and throw little digs and stuff like that. But most of the time it's fun shade, or she only like really gets you, right, if she's responding to you. And still she does not go low. She doesn't go Marlo. Pun intended. So yeah, she's trying to paint this picture that is just Kenya, and she always does, you know, I'm so over, I can't, I'm over the Marlo thing, you know, I'm over it. If she does come back next season, I am hoping that Marlo changes. We don't want this, you going after Kenya, you going after Candy. We kind of want to see a more softer side of you. Let's, you know, bring a date on the show or something like that. Let's see you dating. Let's see anything other than you attacking people in that way. That's so unbecoming. Like, enough. And of course the ladies start going back and forth. They start arguing, and it just gets to a point where it's just like, okay, enough. Yeah, Kenya's like, enough, Marlo. You lie about everything. Yeah, your name ain't even Marlo Hampton. Your name is LaToya Hutchinson. Everybody was confused, like, huh? Could this be true? Because you never know. You know, Marlo has had a sketchy past. She has, you know, had some moments where she was incarcerated and stuff like that. Remember, in foster care, she, you know, did a lot of stuff that she ended up, you know, doing jail time for. So, she very well could have changed her name. We don't know. But I thought that was funny that Kenya did that, because everyone is looking like, wait, what? I'm confused. What? Okay, so finally we get to Sheree and Drew and this assistant Anthony, this messy assistant Anthony, who only really pitted the ladies against each other. I feel like I had a plan to do this, right? It just all makes sense, because we find out during the reunion that Drew tries to pull out receipts from her phone. So her husband, Ralph, and Anthony, the assistant, had a telephone call. And on this call, he was saying, yeah, you know, Sheree doesn't pay her bills. Like, he was starting all that mess in the rumors against Sheree, and saying, when Drew was asking, did you say this and this and that, he was kind of like trying to backpedal and stuff like that, but Sandy wasn't sure, you know. So she had her receipts, and then Sheree said, I'll do you even better. Sheree actually called Anthony during the reunion and was asking Anthony questions like, Anthony, didn't you tell me XYZ? And he sure enough was saying that Drew was looking for a storyline and this and like, it just was crazy. You know, you can tell that this guy, you can tell that this this person set out to just have a moment on the show. He wanted some shine. And guess what, ladies? You gave it to him. You know, we've talked more about Anthony than, you know, a lot of these people on here. Like, Manana didn't even get that much conversation brought up about her. Anthony got a whole bunch of, you know, so he did exactly what he set out to do. Bravo. And basically, that was the end of the reunion part 2. This reunion is weird because I am used to Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion having some spark, you know, like some, like, you know, some drop kick, like, you know, going back and forth and, you know, throwing shade and, you know, these iconic one-liners doing it. You know, we didn't get any of that. I feel like we only got Marlo. And I cut out a lot of the Marlo segment because it was just all her. You know, they did touch on Marlo and the attempted robbery because we do know that some gentleman tried to break into her townhome. And she did explain to us that, you know, she yelled something. In other words, I got something for you, so come on in if you want to. And they turned around and they left. And, you know, we know that that was scary. And Andy did, you know, ask Kenya, you know, because Kenya did say, she did make a statement and, you know, was just saying that she wanted Marlo or them to do a call or, you know, some type of meeting so everyone can know, you know, how they can protect each other, because not only did Marlo have a scare, so did Drew and Candy. So, and that was the end of part 2, you guys. Make sure you guys get down in the comments if you watched the reunion. You can give me your opinion on what you thought about part 2. Also, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and like the video, you guys. Like the video. That's it. Bye.